Hey everyone, Josh here with an up-close look at a Star Wars toy. And today we're going to unbox the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian from the Black Series line. So let's go ahead and get him out of here. And real quick, before we do all that, let's just take a look at the artwork on the box a little bit. And if you're following the numbers, he is D2, which I believe stands for deluxe figure. He's second in the line for that. I don't know how long they did that. I don't think it was very long, but... And then, of course, we also have the character description on the back, and I will go ahead and read that for you guys real quick. Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, a brawny warrior encased in the strongest Beskar armor. The mysterious Heavy Infantry Mandalorian is part of a secretive enclave of his people. A born survivor, he guards a precious armory and helps to keep the flames of the Mandalorian heritage flickering in this time of galactic chaos. Alright, and so that's a pretty long description for one of these figures, but yeah, one of the things you can definitely say about this character is he was pretty mysterious in the show. They didn't say a lot about him, really. He was definitely a very cool figure and character in the show, but didn't go into a lot of background on him. But as you can see, he is a bigger figure. He feels heavy, and we'll go ahead and get him out of here. And yeah, he is definitely bigger than your standard Mandalorian figure like a Boba Fett or a Jango Fett. Yeah, he feels heavy. He's got some weight to him. But you can see, very cool, very good sculpting of the armor. And obviously we have some sort of backpack there. And then we have the Mandalorian emblem on his shoulder. And we'll go ahead and... You gonna stay, buddy? All right, take a look at him. I want to get this massive... gun out of here too. This thing is cool. So, but yeah, look at the size of this thing. It's pretty big. So there you can see his weapon, and we'll go ahead and put it on him here in a second. But real quick, I just want to run through his articulation on one of these bigger figures. It should be interesting. But just looking at his head, we've got full rotation, a little bit of up and down, and it feels like it's mostly at where his neck connects to his head. So, and the little thing on his helmet does not move or come out or anything like that. Then down here looking at his arm, okay, so looks like they put a little, oh, very interesting. They put a little, designed it so the shoulder piece goes over the chest piece, so that's very cool. So you get a little more articulation out of them, and I can see there's a little flex to the armor pieces. They're like kind of rubbery, but that's probably a good design idea. But there you got the up and down of his arm. You should have full rotation. You have rotation, and they put the articulation point right there where the color of his clothing changes. Then you've got up and down, oops, at the elbow. You should have rotation at the wrist. And yeah, you're not getting a full rotation because his fingers are hitting the, what I believe is a grenade launcher on his gauntlet there. And then you should have some back and forth. Yeah, and so he does have some wrist movement. And then going down from there, looking at his chest, got a little bit of back and forth so you can lean him, but not any rotation. He kind of like does a little bit of a turn, but not, and you can hear him click in there. But I can't really, that's all the further I can get him to go. But then coming down to his legs here, we should see, got forward and not really straight back. It's kind of like an out back. As I push the leg back, it's like going out. So, and I think that might have to do with something, how large he is, the way they design the figure. But then you have the rotation up here at the upper leg. And then you should have a bend at the knee. And a ankle forward and back. And an ankle rotation. you're kind of limited because he has like this huge guard over his ankle, and it's kind of restricting the rotation. So, but all right, so let's take a look at the backpack here, and you can see it's also a jetpack. I kind of wish they had given him some little flames to plug in there. That'd have been cool. And then, of course, you have this at the backpack, and then on the front of the backpack, or his front, you can see there's a big peg right there to install it on the back of the figure. And then, let's see here. I'm trying to see if there's any movement in the cable that comes out. And then you can see the cable goes to the gun, and you can rotate it. And then from there, I'm trying to see if there's any... Oh, very interesting. Okay, so there's a moving part on the gun. I'm assuming, yeah, that looks like a secondary handle. And you can see it rotates 360. And then you can see they kind of put some highlights on the barrel. It's a 3-barreled rotating blaster. Come on. But yeah, you can see it's got 3 barrels, and they kind of put like gray to blue highlights on it. And I got a little bit of warp in mine. Go ahead and straighten that out. And that looks like about it. You can see there's another handle here. I guess that's the primary handle. I'm not sure. Maybe the back one. We'll see here in a sec. But that is the blaster. But let's go ahead and put it on him. And so the other thing you have here is there's this little like hose cable coming out the side here. And I'm assuming, go ahead and plug the backpack in. I'm assuming that the cable here. All right, so it just kind of presses in. I didn't hear any like snapping or clicking or anything, but it is on there really good. It's holding him. And then from there, this hose, I'm assuming, yeah, it rotates, and it's got a little flex to it. But you can see in the back of his gauntlet here, there is a hole, and we want to, okay. So that's interesting. They kind of have it backwards to the way they have it lined up. There's a little flat spot on the peg here that you got to line up with the hole. And I am trying to do that. And it is. There it goes. I can feel it engaging. All right. There you go. So once you put that in, it kind of doesn't really restrict his movement. He still has good movement and everything. So they put a little extra in there for movement. And then, of course, from there, we have the big rotating gun. But before we go ahead and try to put his hands in here, I just want to show you guys what the hand sculpts look like. And you can see they both have trigger fingers out, but the right hand's a little more prominent. But yeah, you can see they have a trigger finger out for that hand, but it's just not sticking out as far. And then another thing that's kind of cool, yeah, the grenade launcher actually has a barrel in it. It's not just you can see there's a hole in the end, so that's pretty cool. All right, so let's see if we can get this thing in his hand. And to be honest with you guys, I am not sure how to get him to hold this. If I was going to take a guess, I would say one hand on the back. Okay, so that hand with the trigger finger that doesn't stick out as much, or his left hand, it holds that rotating handle on the top of the gun. It holds it really well. And just looking at a way, I mean, in the movie or the show when he may have held it from the back. That's kind of the way I remember it. It's been a while since I've watched it, but honestly, the best way to get him to do it is to hold. There's an extra handle here on the side, and you can see he gets a pretty good grip on it. There is a little bit of gap in between his fingers and the handle, and he doesn't have the greatest grip on it, but there you go. That's him holding the giant minigun, and you can see it looks pretty good. And he's got a pretty good grip on it. It's not letting go. It feels like this hand's holding it a lot better than this hand. And there you go, guys. Very cool. And just due to the hosing and everything, I don't think you're going to get the rifle to really switch hands. They kind of have it bent towards one direction, but very cool. All right. And of course, with a big figure like this, with a big accessory, I do want to give him the nice little final test. Will he stand on his own? And yes, he will. And there he is, everyone. This is the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian from the Mandalorian TV show. And thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.